Okay, everybody. It's so good to see all of you tonight. This is a career chat live with Gina Wood, and Gina is one of our amazing sales directors. Just earned the use of the shiny black 2004 Chevy Equinox and picked it up like last week or week before. I mean, I know it still smells new. She probably don't even have 100 miles on it yet, right?
Well,
And so we welcome all the guests here. I know some of you were challenged by, I don't know what your consultant says she would give you if you jumped on here, but I can assure you she greatly appreciates it. So my name is Colson-Eyre. I am a sales director as well. I've been building my Mary Kay business for 38 years and joined at 23, just turned 23 years old right out of college. And so who would have thought I would still be doing this? I know y'all adding that up in your mind. Just don't do it. Okay. And so we kind of take turns on who shares a little bit about the company. And Gina is going to be the one sharing with us tonight. And for all of you that are on here watching on Zoom, are Jamie's guest, and Gina is her amazing sales director. Okay. So should you decide at the end of this presentation that, hey, you know what? It sounds like a great idea. I'd love to do that. This gal is going to be your leader, and she will be your mentor and help you know what to do and how to do it and get you started. So without any further ado, I'm going to spotlight Gina and let her take it away. Thanks, everybody. And we will do questions at the end.
and thank you for taking your time tonight. I know that you probably got dishes in the sink. You could have been somewhere else doing something else. So I appreciate your time more than you know. Just a little bit about my journey and in this company. I've been in three times. The first time I came into the company, I had horrible skin. Young lady came to my house. One of the reasons I had horrible skin, y'all, is because I didn't wash my face. Come on. But young lady came to my house and done a party. And when she came and taught me how to take care of my skin, one of the main things that I remember her saying was for every night that you go to bed without washing your face, whether you have makeup on or not, just because of pollution and smog and life, that you age your skin 7 to 11 days. And I am not a math magician, but I knew that I was 26 years old and I had never washed my face. I got up the next morning and kind of rubbed it around, while I was in the shower and then put some more on. Oh my Lord. So I knew immediately that 26 years at 7 or 11 days was a whole bunch and I had a lot of stuff to fix. So I started with my skincare that night when she told me that everything was 100% satisfaction guarantee and that she wanted me to use it for a week and give me her feedback or give her my feedback. I thought right then, I can get my money back in a week. And she said, absolutely, I'll rip your check up. So I wrote her a check, used the product for a week. I'm telling you, I just had some horrible skin that I tried to cover stuff up instead of fix. And that week, my skin made such a difference. That skincare made such a difference in my skin that when she came back to do her job, followed up with me, and had that check in her hand, I said, no, you can't have it back. So she decided to keep my check. I really don't remember her giving me the facts of the company like I'm going to do with you guys in just a second. I remember her saying she made 50% of everything that she sold. And I probably, knowing my personality, said, why am I paying you? I don't really remember the conversation, but I'm sure it kind of went something like that. So that's how I became a consultant, was because I knew that I had just given her $199 because I bought the whole thing, you know. And then she told me she made half of that. I was like, well, this is just silly. I'm going to use it. So that's how I became a consultant the first time. And I say that to you because I have been in three times. When I came in the first time, I really came in because I loved the product. This chick was having a good time. She was making some good money, and I wanted to do what she was doing. And then life happened to me several years later. I kind of drifted away, never stopped using the product. So I've been using the product since. Came back into the company the second time to work my business. My husband at the time, our family had just purchased 30 acres and a new house and we're remodeling. And we all worked, he and I both worked at the same place. And the day our first house payment was due, we all lost our jobs. Fun times. So the first thing that popped into my mind was Mary Kay, because like I said, we were in the middle of renovations. It was horrible. Didn't have no bathroom cabinets. We did have a toilet, praise God, but there was just a lot of stuff going on. But immediately I thought, we needed to make money and make money now. And I don't know how you guys are, but if I want it, I want it now. I don't want to wait on it for a month. And so I knew that I could make some quick money. So I shared with him a little bit about my history as far as being a consultant, because he didn't know, he wasn't in my life then. And I said, I'll make the house payment. I got this. Let's figure everything else out. And y'all, I just dug my heels in. I picked up the phone. I ordered some product. I booked some parties. Made the house payment and then some. And in 4 months, just dug my heels in, earned a car, became a director. I drove free. My kids, I have a daughter and a nephew that I raised. And so both of them learned to drive an American car. American pays 87% of your car insurance. And if y'all know anything about inexperienced drivers, that was such a financial blessing. Lord Jesus, I couldn't have left the company if I wanted to, right? But I say that to say we were, I guess, about 8 or 9 years in, and I went through a horrible divorce. And I mean, it just about took everything that I had out of me. And I did make some very big mistakes along the way. And I think one of those mistakes was sending my car back and resigning from Mary Kay, because I didn't want to answer people's questions. And I think you as women get what I just said. Lots of people would say stuff to me as I went to deliver their product. I thought you guys were great. And of course you did. I was a great actress, aren't you? When you don't have good stuff going on at home. I mean, you don't walk around going, ask me why my, So I did leave the company again, but I never stopped using the products. So fast forward, I was a personal use consultant for 13 years. So sometimes I say I was an undercover agent because I didn't tell nobody about it, but I sure was looking better than most of my girlfriends because they were using other stuff. I hope y'all are laughing when I say that. And then in June of 2021, I really feel like the Lord had been working on me because I wanted something else. I love riding a forklift, riding a tractor, and running around with Randy everywhere we go. I love all that stuff. If y'all see me at 4 a.m. on something, I'm going to look just like this. And it was before I became a Mary Kay beauty consultant, because I do this for me, not anybody else. But as much as I love doing all that stuff, there was just something else missing. And I knew that there was something, and I just wasn't sure what it was. So I started praying about it, and it really was this. So on July 1st of 2021, I called my now senior director, and I said, I want to sign up and do this again. I want to get some inventory and hold some parties. And she said, why? Are y'all laughing? She said, why? I said, there's just something missing. And so for most of y'all on here, just because you're Jamie's, I want you to know that Jamie was my very first hostess. I asked her to hold my first party for me. So she and her guest came. UPS lost my product. I don't know if you, the rest of y'all on here that know me and Mary Kay, know this story, but UPS lost all my product. So Jamie and her crew came that night. We had a wonderful party out of products that I owned because I had been using them. One of Jamie's guests actually took, while I was doing individual consultations, took all my mirrors and trays in the bathroom and washed them all out because I didn't have any disposable trays, all that stuff. All my stuff was lost. UPS had not brought it to me. So we had an adventure as well as a really good time. I say all that to you to say, in that first year that I was back in the company, I was just having fun and selling product and teaching people. And I really don't want you to think that I was just selling product. I was teaching people how to take care of their skin. I was teaching people everything that I knew and learning as much as I could about everything that Mary Kay had to offer, because I knew how great the product was and I knew how much it had helped my skin. That was my desire, was to help other people and to help the teenagers at church. That's where it started, really. I just wanted to give them some information that I didn't have. I've asked my mom 100 times looking at our pictures. I'm like, what were you thinking? She said, I just didn't know either. So don't you agree that sometimes you just don't know what you don't know? So that was my passion in 21, was just to transfer some knowledge so that young ladies didn't have to go through the acne horror that I was having to go through, coming up, as well as the young men. I mean, I think that's a whole nother, I think they need to be taking care of their skin just as much as we do. So that was my passion. I earned the 7 carat that year for Queen's Court of sales. But y'all, it wasn't about the ring. I was just having fun. So I went to that event and then really sat still and listened and thought I was being selfish by not sharing this opportunity with other people. I had a young lady that sat down at this event with me. She was on a FaceTime with her kids, and I was going to eat lunch, and I was by myself, and she had an extra seat, and I just pointed, and she said, yeah. So she's FaceTiming with her children, and they were fighting. And, if you're a mama, what was going on? She was trying to get them to be good for grandma while she was at this event, and they were getting back and forth. And so she got off of that FaceTime with the kids, and she said, I was not a director, and so I did not have on that jacket. And she said, where are you? What are you doing? And so I kind of told her, and she, I had earned the ring. I was excited about that. And she said some words that I'll never forget. She said, how many people have you seen in the last 6 months? And I said, probably about 200. And she said, shame on you. And I was like, I thought I was doing pretty good. What do you mean, shame on me? And she said, before somebody offered this opportunity to me, I was a single mama and I was broke and my power had been turned off. She said, shame on you for not offering this to anybody. I was like, yes, ma'am. Her name's Montana. I've never seen her again either. So she might be an angel. Who knows? But I said, I never really thought about it that way. And she said, don't get me wrong. I know how I got broke me. She said, it was my fault that I was broke, didn't have any money. She said, but had somebody not offered this to me, I don't know if I would have stayed broke. She said, I was just in a vicious cycle. I was doing the same thing, expecting different results. But when somebody offered this to me, I decided that I could make some money, and I got myself out of that situation. So that's the reason that I started building my team, is because I decided to not be selfish and just to pass it on like Mary Kay asked us to do. So to give you some facts, we do make 50% of everything that we sell. Mary Kay started this business for women. I do go a little bit further back. I was looking at my time. I felt like I've been talking a long time, with my glasses here. I want you to go back with me just a second. When Mary Kay was coming through the ranks, back then, women just did not get paid what they were worth. And I'm not saying that we do today, but they definitely didn't back then. And so Mary Kay had done several different things, but she settled with Stanley Home Products. And during her time, she was bringing these new men in and taking them around and teaching them what to do and teaching them how to. And then they were becoming her boss. And so several different times during her career, she would go into the CEO or whoever's office and say that she needed a raise. And they would say things to her like, Mary Kay, there you go, thinking like a woman again. Well, hello. These men need to feed their family. Well, Mary Kay was a single mama. She needed to feed her family as well. So that happened one too many times. And at some point, I hope you really get to know the full story, because it's an amazing story. But when she went in and they laughed at her, she decided to retire. And I probably am using a nice word if it were me. I'm not sure if retire would be the word that I would have chosen when I walked away. But in her graciousness, she sat down at her kitchen table with 2 legal pads. And on one, she wrote all the pros, and on one, she wrote all the cons of being a woman in sales. And somebody came by. I don't remember if it was her husband or Ben, but one of them came and read the legal pad and said, this is not a book. This is a marketing plan. You need to find something for these women to sell. So immediately she went back in her Stanley product brain. And during one of her parties, while she was in the living room cleaning up, all the hostesses gravitated towards the kitchen and were leaving with those little jelly jars and little jam jar, baby food jars, and old prescription bottles. And she said, I did what any good woman done when everybody left. She went in the kitchen and said, where's my jars? And so she said she went home with these jars that night. The hostess was a hairdresser, and her father was a hide tanner. And he had started noticing that his hands were looking younger and younger. And if y'all know anything about men and working it, you don't really see younger and younger on their hands. So they had kind of been tweaking this concoction, if you will, and everybody and her friends and family were using it on their face. So Mary Kay said that she took it home with her that night. It took her 3 days to use it because it stuck to high heaven, and it was in an old prescription bottle. And the only reason she probably did use it was because she had to go back and close the party. So praise God, she had to go back and close that party, right? So she has been using these products for years when she sat down to write to write this book. with her legal pads. So I take y'all all the way back to tell you all that, to say Mary Kay had been using these products for a long time and knew what they were worth and what they were doing for her skin. So she went to the family and asked the family if she could buy the formulations, and they said yes. So Beauty by Mary Kay was born. So, in telling you that 9-hour story, I apologize for going too much detail. She had a vision like nobody else. She envisioned us being able to earn the diamonds, earn the cars, back then it was fur coats. I don't want to hear it if y'all got something against that. It's just what it was. She wanted us to be able to earn things that she knew that women just wouldn't go out and buy for themselves, because if we get an extra $100, we end up buying shoes for the kids, some kind of, you know what I mean? The things that we would dream of are the things that she wanted to give us. So I'm so thankful that she thought outside the box, and that she was Holy Spirit inspired, and that she decided to dig her heels in and do this. And then I'm gonna leave you with one more gut pinch before I move on. So they had decided to do this. Everything was spent, because back then she couldn't get a loan. They would not give her anything. Her accountant and her attorney both, I think, wrote to the state of Texas about how many cosmetic companies go bust in a year. I mean, let's talk about some encouragement, right? Everybody told her no at the financial institutions. Nobody was for her. And her oldest son came through. I jumped. So they had refinanced their house, refinanced everything. Everything was spent. And 1 month to the day before she was to open the company doors, her husband fell dead of a heart attack at the kitchen table. So, any of us could have said, that's a sign, I'm not supposed to do this, and walked away, and people probably would have cried and said, oh, Mary Kay, it's okay. You don't have to do this. Well, you can live in our basement. Come on. Any of that stuff could have been said, but she didn't. She pulled her 3 children around her at the funeral, or after the funeral, and just said, what do you think? And her oldest son, Ben, was the son, if she could ever get his hind end out of bed and get him to school, he would do something immediately, and they would send him home. That kid. She said he gave her his past savings of $5,000. And he said, Mama, we think you can do anything. And so with that past savings, she started this company. So I'm so thankful that she got up and continued to do what God had placed in her heart. Or I wouldn't be sitting here telling y'all this story today. Pretty good story, isn't it? You need to hear the rest of it. So the cars, it is true. The cash, it is true. The advancement, you get to do what you want to. If you want to work, girl, you can make some money. If you want to sit home and think about working, you won't make no money. It is what you decide to do. It is a fabulous product. Oh, let me put my little finger on y'all. We're number 1. Did y'all know that? As of September 1st, 2023, we are number 1 in skincare, in color cosmetics, and in the combined skincare and color cosmetics in the world. I ain't talking about North Carolina, y'all. And the world. I'm so excited that I represent this company. We do make 50%. We're one of the highest direct sales commission paid company in the United States. I think we have the largest fleet of cars on the road besides the state. And I think we're pushing them a minute. What is the numbers? They say it's 1% of consultants earn a Mary Kay car. But y'all, and I'm going to tell you what, you wouldn't believe the heads that turn at that. I went to the doctor this morning and I had somebody cross the street and say, is that really Mary Kay car? It is, and it's 30 degrees. Can we go inside and talk? But it really, this company has allowed me the financial situation of no other. And this is the silliest thing. My daughter said today, we were talking about 8th grade trip. When 8th grade trip happened back in the day and things came up, all I didn't call somebody and ask if I could work some overtime. All I did was booked a couple of more appointments. Her cheerleading coach, this is silly, but it's the truth. Her cheerleading coach quit in the middle of basketball season. So none of those girls could go to any of the away games without a parent. Well, who was the parent that could do anything that she wanted to because she knew how to work her business? So did I have to ride that bus with those stinking boys after the games? I did. But I could. So all those girls got to go to those games. I'm rambling now. We are a very good company. We have given, I have to put my glasses on. We've given more than 200 million to the Mary Kay Ash Foundation and to domestic violence shelters. And if y'all have a relationship with any domestic violence shelter, it is my best advice to you to contact the company because we do give grants. There's so much money allotted every single year that those grants are given. Mary Kay Ash started doing research on cancers that afflict women, because I didn't know this, but did you know all the cancers research up until the late 80s was done on cancers that afflict men? I had no idea. So Mary Kay Ash, again, thinking outside the box, started doing research on cancers that afflicted women. We have 100% renewable energy. We have planted more than 1.3 million trees. We have a zero landfill. We've given $36.5 million to the Mary Kay Ash Foundation since 1996. We got 39 good housekeeping. Y'all can send all this stuff to you. And it's in our books. I mean, we're just a good company. Everything's made in the United States, which is a big old hairy deal to me. I don't know about how y'all feel about that, but that is huge to me. So when you are using Mary Kay products, I just want you to know, when you rinse it down the sink and you need more, I don't know where your money goes when you go to Walgreens and buy something. I don't know where your money goes when you're at Sephora buying something, but I know whenever you purchase from an independent beauty consultant, that you're helping her household income, but you're also, look at all these things that we donate to. I mean, we're just great for the communities as well. All right. The ways that you can become a consultant is you come into the company to get your consultant number and get your wholesale buying power, and it's $35. Y'all, I go to Sam's. No, wait a minute. Even if I don't go to Sam's, I pay for my membership a year. And I hate to admit this to y'all on this call, but I paid for Costco and they drafted that sucker again. I still ain't been to Costco. Still haven't been to Costco. Me and Randy went one time and bought a membership, and I've paid 2 more years and still ain't been. I just want to slap myself for doing that. But my reasoning in telling you is $35. It is not a life-changing amount, but it absolutely could change your life like it has mine. Should you decide that you want to hold virtual or in person, that's totally up to you. If you want to come in and get the entire kit, which is your mirrors and trays and kit and all the stuff that you squirt from, and you know, between me and you, you're probably going to have it in your bathroom and using it yourself. It's okay. We all do it. Get your own. That is an additional $90. But again, where else can you start a business for that little amount of money and get to choose what you want to do? I always ask, with the little bit of information that you've gotten, for you to choose an A, B, or a C in your interest level. So A is absolutely, I was at the Walmart earlier and spent $150. I don't even know what I got. No, I'm not saying that you did that, but sometimes it happens, don't it? B is book me for a 15-minute appointment tomorrow. I think I might need to ask you some more questions. And C is I want to stay a happy customer and support this wonderful company for the rest of my life. Throw it in the chat and tell me where you'd like to be. If you have more questions, I know the young ladies that are on tonight supporting Miss Jamie, that's part of the deal, is that you have questions that you're going to ask me. So I'm looking forward to answering all those questions. Miss Cleva? You're muted.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop the recording. So thank you very much, Gina, and then we will let Gina answer all the questions. Thank you, everybody. And if you're watching on YouTube,